Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is CJ Curry. It's the CJ Curry Show presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is making daily fantasy sports simple, allowing you to choose 2, 3, 4, 5, or up to 6 different players from your favorite sports. You combine them, decide whether they're going to go for more or less on their projection, and you can win up to 25 times your money. Now, if you tuned in yesterday, guys, we picked a nice little two-pick that ended up going for 3x. It was a two-pick power play, 3 times our money. We took Jason Tatum over points. We put it with Shohei Ohtani over 0.5 total bases. And controversial call on the Ohtani play, but they did rule that he made it safely to first base late in the game, his last at bat. So shout out to everybody who tailed that pick and tripled up their money with me on yesterday's Taco Tuesday. All right. If you don't play on PrizePicks yet, they're still doing a 100% instant deposit match on your first deposit all the way up to $100. All you got to do is use promo code Curry when you sign up. I've left a link down in the description of today's video. If you haven't checked it out yet, go get signed up for PrizePicks. All right. Changing the way that you play daily fantasy sports, one entry at a time. I see a lot of folks in here this morning. Yesterday, we fell short of our like goal, so I'm setting the like goal at 99.5 likes. Listen, you guys showed up and showed out on Monday. Tuesday, we went under. Let's go over today. Let's go over 99.5 likes. Let's get back into the good graces of the YouTube algorithms. I can't do it by myself. I can only hit the like button once. Me, personally, I can only do it once. But with your help, all you viewers out there, whether you're watching the podcast live, whether you're catching the replay, you can smash the like button. It's completely free. And I'm also rewarding those of you who are subscribers and are smashing that like button and tuning in daily. Here's how. We're doing a free two-pick power play giveaway every single day. That's right. It's risk-free to you. Basically, I'm going to select somebody who has subscribed to the channel, who has smashed the like button, and who goes to the comment section when the podcast replay gets posted to YouTube and leaves a comment. That could be your favorite pick, play, or prop of the day. I'm going to select somebody from that comment section from the podcast replay. So you just got to be a subscriber, hit the like button, and then once the show ends and the replay is posted to YouTube, go to the comment section, leave a comment on the podcast, put your favorite pick, prop, or play down there, and we'll select somebody from the next show. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's select somebody from yesterday's show. So somebody who subscribed, somebody who liked, and somebody who left a comment down in the comment section. We're going to pick them today to win a risk-free two-pick power play on PrizePicks. Basically, you get both of these picks right, you're going to be rewarded with $100 in your PrizePicks account. I see all these people on Twitter, all these people on social media who said, hey, PrizePicks, ship us some free promo credits. Hey, PrizePicks, give us a free entry. Listen, I'm the guy. I'm PrizePicks lead ambassador. They've chosen me to be the arbiter of free entries and promo credits, okay? So here it is, baby. This is your opportunity. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell someone you love and care about to tune into the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, join us here 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday daily, and maybe you'll get your hands on one of these risk-free two-pick power plays, all right? Enough of the yapping. Let's go ahead and pick us a winner. We're going to load up our YouTube comment picker. All right, it's already loaded here with the 25 comments. That's how many comments were left on yesterday's show. Shout out to everybody who joined me for yesterday's show, who cashed in with me on that Jason Tatum over points, the Shohei Ohtani over 0.5 total bases. We did triple up our money on that two-pick power play. We're going to look to make some more money on today's show, okay? But before we do that, let's go ahead and pick this winner here. As I mentioned, we've got 25 comments, unique comments. Those of you who try to comment more than once, listen, I've got a feature in here where it filters out duplicate comments. Don't try to stuff the ballot box with extra comments. It ain't gonna fly. Not here, not on my watch. You understand me? One comment per person. That's it. Let's play fair. Let's play by the rules. And those of you who don't, I'm cracking down. All right. So let's go ahead and hit the start button here. There's only one thing left to do. Running through the names here. Running through the names. Boom. We've got ourselves a winner chicken dinner. Or if you're the vegan type, maybe it's tofu. I don't know. Maybe it's soy. I don't know. Either way, Divine Truth Allah says, Bradley Beal under assist at 6. That was his comment from yesterday's video. Divine Truth Allah is one of our Patreon members. Shout out to the Patreon gang. I know there's a lot of Patreon members who love what we're doing here, who have been rocking with me, supporting the show for a long time. Divine Truth Allah is one of those. Appreciate you and all your long time support. I'd be happy to bless you with this risk-free 2-pick power play on PrizePicks. All you got to do now, Mr. Divine Truth Allah, send me a DM. I need a DM with your PrizePicks email address so that I can have this risk-free 2-pick power play added to your PrizePicks account. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy, simple as that. All you got to do is be a subscriber, hit the like button, and do like my friend here, Divine Truth Allah did. He left a comment down in the comment section. I selected his comment randomly using our YouTube comment picker, and now he's got a shot at winning $100 on PrizePicks, totally risk-free, no sweat. All right, let's run through the comments real quick. We've got Britton Laughlin, who says, we're so close to 8,000 subs. Yeah, once upon a time, we were over 8,000 subs. A couple weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, or whatever, we were over 8,000 subscribers. But hey, what are you going to do? People didn't see me for a while. I took a little bit of a hiatus, the personal issues that I had going on with the fam. They decided to jump ship. That's their loss. Okay, those of you who are still here, you're going to benefit. You're going to prosper with me, and you're going to grow the channel with me. So I appreciate all the support. Britton, thank you. We will be over 8,000 subscribers once again very soon. So if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and jump on board now before you miss the train, all right? Before the ship sails on you, make sure you're a subscriber. Get in here early. Let's go ahead and do the damn thing. Todd, Live for Sunday, says, so great to have you back, CJ. God bless you and family. Let's get this slate tonight. Yeah, we got a pretty big NBA slate. We're going to talk about all the games. We're going to talk about all the injury news. We're going to talk about how the totals are looking, the spreads are looking, trying to avoid those potential pitfalls. Things like blowouts are never fun when you're betting overs, especially on NBA basketball. So we got G-Lo got bars. G-Lo, yo, shout out to you. Where have you been, my friend? It's good to see you back. Thanks for joining us here this morning, Mr. G-Lo. I know you got bars, bro, but you don't want to battle me, bro. You don't want to battle me, all right? I'm about that life. I got bars too. You ain't the only one packing bars. Ricky Carroll says, good morning. Good morning to you, Ricky. D'Angelo says, good morning, gang. Counting down the days until WNBA. Listen, word on the street, D'Angelo, is that you're about that WNBA life, that you might know a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to the women's basketball. So I'm going to need you to show me. Prove it. I don't want that lip service. I want to see some action. Let's see some winning entries, D'Angelo. Let's see if you're really about it. Everyday Fantasy says, what it do? That's my man Don P. Anybody who's in Discord, anybody who's part of the Patreon group, you know Don P's always coming through with some hot picks. Shout out to you, Don P. Thanks for being here this morning. Tyrone's in the building. Good morning to you, another one of our Patreon members. He says, let's get this money to get over this hump day. I feel you, brother. We're going to get to the bag. Mario says, good morning, gang. Anything is possible. Shout out to KG. I do believe anything is possible. FM Props Guy is here, our resident NHL expert. If you guys are in the Patreon, you guys know what I'm talking about. He's always bringing the goods when it comes to hockey prop talk. So shout out to FM Props Guy. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all the kind words. Jacob, shout out to you. James is in the building. That's my man James. Space Jam, the DJ. Broderick, shout out to you. Thanks for being here. Pretty Ray says, good morning. Good morning back to you. Thanks for slapping that like button for me, my friends. B Don, we in here. You flex, I got to flex back. And shout out to everybody else, all right? We got a lot of folks up in here. And I love to see that. All right. We got to talk some NBA, my friends. We've got a lot of different games going on, a lot of action around the association tonight. We're starting to reach the end, the finish line of the NBA regular season. Pretty soon, we'll be transitioning into playoff basketball, and we got MLB waiting for us right around the corner, just a couple weeks away from opening day when it comes to Major League Baseball. We had a great season in Patreon last season with MLB. I'm looking to do the same. If you want to join Patreon, it's just $20 a month. You help support the content, the channel. You get access to daily cheat sheets, helping you with your player prop picks. Plus, I'm posting picks every single night. We're currently riding at about a 69 to 70% hit rate on picks that I've posted month to date. So it's a great time in there. There's a lot of helpful individuals who are looking to get to the bag just like you and me are. And they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and put out some good research and good information. So if you're down with that, you want a good, fun, friendly, family atmosphere, decide whether or not you want to join our Patreon. It's just about 60, 70 cents a day. All right, get down into the description of the video if you're looking for a link for Patreon. All right. On to today's NBA slate. We got the Denver Nuggets taking on the Washington Wizards. This is going to get us started here at 7 o'clock tonight. As far as injury news goes, the big one's going to be Kyle Kuzma for the Washington Wizards. He did sit out. Right now, it looks like he's going to sit out again. Considered a game time decision at this very moment, but things could always change. So keep your eye on the injury news and updates for the Washington Wizards. As far as the game total goes, 227.5 points. Not a bad total. Denver is favored by 7. Now, I just want to let y'all know, I went ahead and made an early move here. An early move, kind of more of a, guess you could say, a gut play. Not a lot of research behind it, but I saw Nikola Jokic's first half points at 11.5. 11.5 first half points against Daniel Gafford? Come on. Telling me Nikola Jokic, who's vying for an MVP trophy, another MVP trophy for the mantle, telling me he can't score 6 points per quarter, first quarter, second quarter? I think he can. So I jumped on a Nikola Jokic early play, first half only, over 11.5 points against this Washington Wizards team. It's not very good defensively. All right, so let's move on from that game. 7:30 tip-off between the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. Always fun when these two teams link up. My only concern is that we're not going to see all the superstars tonight. What I mean by that is Luka Doncic's current listed as a game-time decision. Kyrie Irving, game-time decision as well. You've also got THJ, Tim Hardaway Jr., listed as a game-time decision. He's facing his father, Tim Hardaway Sr.'s former team. You remember that? Once upon a time, all you old NBA heads out there, Timmy Hardaway, Run TMC, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond. All right. They were all out there balling for the Golden State Warriors. So THJ facing his father's former team, the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors, by the way, the original NBA Jam, they were one of the best teams to play with. Hardaway and Mullin, you could put up some threes with those boys. They were balling, y'all. Shout out to my NBA Jam old heads out there. 234 points between these two teams, though, a 2.5 point spread. It looks like it's going to be pretty high scoring. Looks like it's going to stay close and competitive. So that's what we like to see when we want to take some overs on some props like this game right here. As far as Golden State injuries go, it looks like Kevon Looney and Draymond Green are both game time decisions. They both look like they're going to suit up tonight. Andre Iguodala, Ty Jerome, Gary Payton, and Andrew Wiggins are all still out for Golden State. So I really like this game. This could be a fun one to target, but we got to wait and see about that Dallas Mavericks injury news. Who's in, who's out? It's still pending at this moment. 7:30 also brings us one of our favorite Eastern Conference rivalries, going back a little bit, back when Jeff Van Gundy was coaching. Got the New York Knicks, Pat Riley. Remember that? All right, Jeff Van Gundy, Pat Riley, former coaches of these teams. New York Knicks and Miami Heat. Shout out to Larry Johnson, Anthony Mason, Allen Houston, right? Chris Childs, Charlie Ward, Patrick Ewing, all right? Charles Oakley. We got all the names in there. Miami Heat, Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway. We talked about Tim Hardaway, right? So all you guys, y'all remember. Some of y'all who've been following the game of basketball for a while. Anyway, 224.5 points, just a 2-point spread here. Miami Heat favored by 2 at home. Kyle Lowry, game time decision. We're not sure if Lowry's going to play or not. His status could shake things up. If he doesn't play, then you could probably expect Gabe Vincent to get the starting nod at point guard, with Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler also handling a lot of those ball handling, playmaking duties here. But this should be a fun game. Not a terribly bad spread or total here, so I don't mind you taking some overs. Moving on to another 7:30 game between the Indiana Pacers and the Toronto Raptors. Guys, we got 234.5 points, pretty high total, but it is a 9-point spread. They expect Toronto to potentially blow out this Indiana Pacers team. Big news here, Tyrese Halliburton, game time decision. Not sure if he's going to play or not. You also got Chris Duarte on there as a game time decision. So be monitoring their statuses. Andrew Nembhard would probably start at point guard with TJ McConnell coming off the bench if Halliburton can't go. As far as the Toronto Raptors go, you got Scotty Barnes, pretty big news there, game time decision. Not sure if he's playing or not. And then you've got Banton, who's already been ruled out. So that might be a first half only style game, but for me, I got to wait and see. I got to see the injury news. If Halliburton's in, Duarte's in, then maybe you got a closer game. If Scotty Barnes ends up being in, or if he's out, it could be more competitive. Anyway, Philadelphia, Chicago. These two teams just played a couple nights ago. We kind of saw what happened there, guys. It went into double overtime between these two teams. I don't know if it's going to go double OT again. I can't guarantee that, but I did have DeMar DeRozan. You remember that? Over points and assists. I'm sure some of y'all took him, and he had 2 extra periods, a double overtime. He still could not get it done. My man went up to the free throw line toward the end of the game in double overtime, went up to the free throw line, had an opportunity to put us over on the points and assists prop. Guess what? He ends up missing. His only free throw miss of the night, ends up 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Could have clutched up for us, did not clutch up for us. And so he ended up falling short of his prop, points plus assists. Do we run it back tonight with DDR, DeMar DeRozan? Maybe we do. Maybe we do. This game's got a 221.5 point total with a 3.5 point spread. Keep an eye on the beard, James Harden. He's a game time decision. PJ Tucker also listed as a GTD. On the flip side here, we got Javonte Green. It looks like he's going to play Alex Caruso game time decision. So if he's out, maybe more minutes for Patrick Beverly, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu off the bench, all right, if Caruso is out. Moving on to the next game, San Antonio versus the Milwaukee Bucks tips off at 8 o'clock. Now, this one has major blowout risk here. Talking about a 17.5 point spread favoring the Milwaukee Bucks, arguably the best team in the Eastern Conference versus arguably the worst team in the Western Conference with this San Antonio Spurs squad. But 237.5 points with a 17.5 point spread. This is a first half only style game for me. If I'm going to take any props from this game, first half only, which is something unique to PrizePicks. So if you're into playing props, guys, just another reason why you should be playing them on PrizePicks. First half only markets can be pretty sweet if you get in there, roll up your sleeves, and do a little bit of research, all right? So first half only for this game for me. San Antonio visiting Milwaukee. Looks like a blowout's bound to happen. Keep an eye on the Spurs news. Yes, they are in tank mode. It is tank season around the association. So right now, it looks like Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Zach Collins, they're all more likely to play than not. You got Keldon Johnson and Sokan also listed as game time decisions. Their statuses are kind of more up in the air. They're, doubtful, I would say, at this point. But we'll have to see what Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs want to do. Do they want to compete tonight, or do they want to just wave the white flag and put another L in the loss column, putting them at 19-54 for the season as they look to tank for Victor Wembanyama. Everybody wants Victor. 8 o'clock, Atlanta at Minnesota. We got DeJounte Murray, who missed the last game. He's game time decision tonight, so keep an eye on his status. Johnson already ruled out. It's a hard world when you're living with no Johnson. Let me just tell you. I wouldn't know personally, but I've heard stories. So no Johnson for Atlanta. Shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. Minnesota, Anthony Edwards, game time decisions. We got Noel also listed as a game time decision. Huge total on this game, though. 241.5 implied points, my friends. That's a whole lot of points expected to be scored between these two teams. Atlanta visiting Minnesota. Should be fireworks here. These two teams just played not that long ago. It was flipped around, though. Minnesota was visiting Atlanta, and my man Anthony Edwards did play in that game and had a pretty good game. So if Anthony Edwards suits up tonight, that could be an option for us. Looking at some Ant-Man. Moving on to the 8 o'clock tip-off between the Houston Rockets and Memphis Grizzlies. Another one of these games with a double-digit spread, so be careful. Don't take any full game props. Not too many from this game. 12.5 point spread indicates that there's a very real chance that this game will blow out. We don't like blowouts, especially when we're taking full game overs, right? Jayshawn Tate already ruled out for the Houston Rockets. For Memphis, Steven Adams is out. Pay attention to John Morant. It looks like RotoWire is suggesting that maybe John Morant's in the starting lineup tonight. Keep an eye on the John Morant news. I'm not sure if he's confirmed to be active and starting tonight. He's one. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell me, is John Morant in or out tonight? I haven't really heard any definitive news on his availability or status. But speaking of availability, Dillon Brooks is out. So no Dillon Brooks tonight, which means you're going to get John Konchar possibly in the starting lineup tonight alongside Desmond Bane, man in those wing positions. So no Dillon Brooks there. Moving on to the Portland and Utah game. Oh, yeah. Let me backtrack real quick. Important note, Elvis, thank you. Thank you, Elvis. Elvis is in the building, by the way. He has not left the building. Elvis points out Karl Anthony Towns is back tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, Cat is back. Cat is back. Very important. Thank you. Did not mean to gloss over that. I guess I saw him in the starting lineup. I was just like, Karl Anthony Towns. Yeah, he's been there the whole time. No. Karl Anthony Towns has missed quite a bit of time. He's going to be playing tonight for Minnesota. So big news there. How many minutes will he get? I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably going to stay away from the Minnesota T-Wolves because adding Towns back into the mix is really going to probably screw up the chemistry of the team. Guys like Kyle Anderson, who have been boarding really well, who have been assisting very well. You got McDaniels, who was doing really well for Minnesota. I'm kind of going to stay away from them tonight, and let's see how things play out. All right, but good point, Elvis. Thank you for mentioning that. Karl Anthony Towns is absolutely back for the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, moving on to the Portland-Utah game here. Huge total, 234.5 points, just a 4.5-point spread. I'm liking some Damian Lillard tonight, man. Going up against this Utah team is going to be without Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton, their best backcourt players. Looks like a spot here, potentially a spot here for Damian Lillard to feast, which is why he made today's thumbnail. Damian Lillard, just absolutely great season, out of him. We know what he's capable of. But yeah, he'll be probably guarded by Talen Horton-Tucker. Do we really think that that's a matchup that Damian Lillard cannot exploit? I think it's a good spot for Damian Lillard tonight against the Jazz. Jazz defense, non-existent, whether it be against guards, whether that be against forwards or centers. You can put up points. You can put up fantasy points against the Utah Jazz in bunches. All right, Nas Little is a game time decision. Outside of that, you got Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons both out. So this just looks like one of those games where Damian Lillard's going to have to put the team on his back tonight, y'all. So yeah, really liking some Dame time. I think he's going to get all the shots he could possibly want or need or handle. And going up against Utah in a game with a 234.5-point total, how do you not like some Damian Lillard tonight? But I don't want to be a hype beast. Let me stop. Let me reel it in. Lauri Markkanen, game time decision. If he is out, look for Walker Kessler, Kelly Olynyk to take on a much larger role. And of course, Talen Horton-Tucker, he can get buckets too. Moving on to the final game of the night, guys. It's the Phoenix Suns versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, Kevin Durant still out for Phoenix. LeBron James still out for LA. Unfortunately, we still don't get that primetime matchup between KD and LBJ. Also out for Phoenix, big news here, DeAndre Ayton. He is not going to play tonight. Bismack Biyombo slated to start at center for the Phoenix Suns. Over on the Lakers side, it looks like Anthony Davis is a game time decision, but definitely leaning more toward probable than doubtful. So you can expect AD to be out there tonight. And against Bismack Biyombo, I think Anthony Davis might be in for a pretty good night, but been a little weird with Anthony Davis lately. If you guys have been kind of keeping up with AD, he's kind of been sleepwalking through these games. Hasn't been the high performance, high producing Anthony Davis. He's not the brow anymore. It doesn't look like he's been quite the same. I don't know if he wants to maybe leave LA. I don't know if he's being impacted by all the changes. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt being added recently, Rui Hachimura off the bench. Maybe that's shaking things up for AD. I don't know. But right now, he is listed as a game time decision. No Mo Bamba, another one of those new players for the Los Angeles Lakers. But this one's got a nice total of 229.5 with a competitive spread of just 1 point. So this could be one of those games that comes down to the wire, potentially some overtime basketball. Never a bad time when you take some overs and the game goes to overtime. All right, so that's your slate, man. We got a lot of games, 3, 6, 9, 10 NBA games. I'd call this a large slate, but that's what you have to look forward to. We have laid the table, set the table for you guys. So we're going to get into some player prop research. Again, thank you to everyone out there who is watching. If you're not subscribed yet, help us get over the 8,000 subscriber mark by smashing the subscribe button, hitting that like button for me. Let's run those likes up to over 99.5. That's the goal for today. And I'm going to reward you guys, you subscribers, you likers, you guys that are going to the comments section, just like my man Divine Truth Allah. You're going to win one of those risk-free 2-pick power plays to score yourself $100 on PrizePicks. Let's get into some NBA player prop research, my friends. Happy hour going on today on PrizePicks. Just another reason why you should be playing on there. What that means is between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern time, PrizePicks is going to lower the minimum entry amount from $5 down to $1. So you guys who maybe don't have the big bank rolls like some of these high rollers, right? You can get in for as little as $1, turn it into as many as $25. Let's say you hit a 6 out of 6. You could 25 times that $1, turning $1 into $25. Anytime you could 25 times your money, It's not a bad day whatsoever. All right, we're looking at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer here. This is the PrizePicks Optimizer. They have this optimizer available for other sites as well, but we're looking at PrizePicks. This is a PrizePicks sponsored podcast, so we are definitely just sticking to PrizePicks talk today, and we're going to be focusing on NBA, but the optimizer is great for a number of different sports. I'm talking college basketball. I'm talking baseball, which is right around the corner. So if you want to sign up for the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, it's a great time to do so. Guys, this thing makes it easy for you to quickly, efficiently find the best value plays on PrizePicks. It's been a game changer for me. It's led me to a 69% hit rate. That's a great number, right? 69% hit rate on props that I've put out to my my Patreon members out there. So if you're in Patreon, you've been rocking with me all month long, then you know what we're talking about. We've been finding some very good value plays. Very good value plays. And it's all because of this tool right here. Promo code Curry, guys, will get you $5 off your first month. Go down to the description of today's video. All the way down to the bottom, there is a link for you to click that will help you get signed up a little bit quicker for the Daily Grind Fantasy PrizePicks Optimizer. Let's go ahead and refresh the optimizer, although we're seeing some fantastic value up here already. Let's refresh it. Let's make sure we have all the latest and greatest information pulled in from various sports books. We're going to then compare those lines, sportsbooks lines, to the PrizePicks lines, and we're going to try and find some value like we did yesterday, like for Jason Tatum at 28.5 points. That play ended up cashing for us. We're going to go ahead and see if we can find some more of those plays. And again, if you guys have any questions, you want to be featured on the podcast and help support what we do here on the channel, please consider using Super Chat if you open up the live chat window in your YouTube app. Assuming you're watching on a mobile device, click the little dollar bill icon, leave your question for me. It will be highlighted in the live chat. You'll be featured on the podcast, and I'm going to give you some hands-on, one-on-one player prop research information that will hopefully help you make a wise decision tonight. All right, so going through the optimizer here, I'm going to skip over a lot of these. A lot of these are going to be free throws. Free throws was a recent addition to the optimizer. Free throws are a little bit less predictable than some of the other player prop markets. So that's why I say I'm going to skip over these, but you can see right here how easy they make it for you to find the value. For instance, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 7.5 free throw makes on PrizePicks. The sports books have him at 8.5. And then you can see what the percentage of odds to hit are. 59% chance that he makes more than 7.5 free throw makes, according to the DG Optimizer here, Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. But like I said, I want to scroll past those. I want to get into some of the more traditional player prop markets, such as this one right here. Devin Booker, currently listed at 32.5 points on PrizePicks. He's taking on the Los Angeles Lakers today. Most sports books seem to have him at 31.5. So they're suggesting, the optimizer is suggesting that we take the under on Devin Booker at 32.5 points. So what I like to do, once I find a plus EV play, plus expected value play, such as this one, I like to go over to a projection system, a projection source of some kind. Now, this one is a paid one. It's a premium one. You got to pay some money for this. But this is Fantasy Labs, Action Labs. I like to go pull a projection here. I just like to see if like these projection models, which this one's a pretty darn good one, if they kind of align with what the optimizer is suggesting, you know, just for another extra layer of added research, right? Again, this is how I've amassed a record of about 70% hit rate on picks this month provided to Patreon members. So this process right here, this is my process. You guys are wondering, you know, it's not perfect. 69% is not 100%. It's not perfect, not always going to work, not always going to hit. Shout out to Marcus Smart last night. I took the under on his 8.5 rebounds and assists, and he ended up going over by 1. So there's going to be times where it doesn't always work out. DeMar DeRozan a couple nights ago, another key one. But for the most part, we've had some very good success doing these couple of steps that I'm illustrating right now. So Devin Booker recommended under 32.5 points. I go over to my favorite projection system, in this case, Action Labs. I look at the projection. They got him at 31.8. That suggests that he will score less than 32.5 points. So I like the fact that he's projected to go under 32.5. I like the fact that the optimizer is saying this has a 54% chance, over 54% chance of hitting. So I think this is a fine first play, all right? This is all mathematically factual, all right? It's all based on math. It's all based on the numbers. It's not us guessing with our gut, saying, oh, gee, well, I just think that Devin Booker's going to go out there and have himself a hell of a night against the Lakers. You could bet that way. You could go with your gut, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. But, I like to go by the numbers. I like looking for mathematical advantages and edges because over the long haul, we're going to be profitable that way. These lines makers set these lines to be as close as 50-50, a coin flip as possible. So if mathematically speaking, I have a 54% chance instead of a 50% chance, that 4% or more edge, that's pretty huge. That's a pretty big advantage. So in this case, Devin Booker under 32.5 points. It's projected to go under. The optimizer suggesting we go under at 32.5. So I think we can make that play the first play. Now, it never feels great going under on a Devin Booker scoring prop, but hey, like I said, math. Can't argue with it. All right. So that was a plus EV play, our first plus EV play of the day. Devin Booker going against the Lakers tonight, under 32.5. All right, that's a plus EV play. Again, there's a chance it fails, but there's always a chance that anything could fail, right? Why not be on the side of math, right? Math's kind of an important thing. Anyway, we got our first super chat coming through here. It's from our man Broderick. Oh, see what I'm talking about, my friends? You think this is an accident? Do you think this was a mistake that Devin Booker just got bumped down from 32.5 to 31.5? Do you think that this is just by chance? No. It's a plus EV play, all right? So the market is constantly shifting and changing, and you can see PrizePicks has already adjusted for Devin Booker. They decided, hey, too many people are taking the under on Booker. We're going to bump him back down to 31.5. Our guy Everyday Fantasy says, hey, he was at 31.5 earlier in the day. They bumped him up to 32.5. Well, guess what? PrizePicks said we're bumping him back down to 31.5. Now, some of y'all are saying that they're watching. Maybe they are watching. Or maybe a lot of you are watching and reacting to the information that's being passed out. And if you are, congratulations for getting in on the under on Devin Booker at 32.5. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to hit the submit on this entry, but we're here to pass out the information and pass out the winning strategies, the winning formula. So, all right, Devin Booker was the first one. My man Broderick here, he's liking DeMar DeRozan over on points tonight. We talked about DeRozan going up against these Philadelphia 76ers. Again, they just played a couple nights ago. This is one of those back-to-back, run-it-back style games. So let's go take a look at DeMar DeRozan. This handy-dandy little search feature here, guys, is going to save you a lot of time looking for your favorite players and props. We got DeMar DeRozan here listed at 22.5 points according to the optimizer. DGF has him as a minus 125 betting odds to go over 22.5 points. This gives you about a 52.1% chance. 52.1% chance to hit. So let's go ahead and verify. Like we said, it's a sometimes 3-step process for me. I like to go find DeMar DeRozan on the optimizer first and foremost. Is it plus EV? Yes or no? In this case, yes it is. 52% chance for it to hit. Then I like to go pull a projection up. And I've got DeMar DeRozan projected for 25.4 points, my friends. That's a whole lot more. That's a whole lot more than his line of 22.5, like we talked about, right? So we like that. It's about a 3-point projection higher than where he is on PrizePicks. So it's plus EV. It's projected really well. And DeMar DeRozan against Philadelphia, I believe he just covered in that last game. Let's pull it up. Let's look at it. Broderick, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Thank you for bringing this pick to our viewers' attention. DeMar DeRozan, 22.5 points. You see he had 25 points. Yes, it took him double overtime to get there against Philadelphia. Didn't have his greatest shooting night. I I think he ended up taking over 20 shots that game, though. So the volume was definitely there. He should have hit it a lot sooner. Shouldn't have taken overtime or double overtime for him to get there. But hey, nonetheless, you take a look at what DeRozan's been doing over the last 5 games: 27, 33, 49, 24, and 25. And if you want a bigger sample size, that's where props.cash really comes through clutch. The visualization component is super nice to have here. You could take a look at what DeMar DeRozan's been doing for the season. At 22.5 points, he's 40 for 65, or a 62% hit rate. He's played Philadelphia now a total of 3 times. He's hit the over in 2 out of 3 games. He's averaging 20.3 points. Had a bit of a bad game here on January 6th with just 12 points. But you can see what DeMar DeRozan's been up to, right? 2 for 3 against Philadelphia this season. Over his last 65 games, he's hit the over in 40 out of 65. We could go a smaller sample size. Last 30 games, he's 16 for 30, 53%. Last 10 games, 7 out of his last 10. More specifically, 7 out of his last 8, he's hit the over. So if you want the visual component, that's where props.cash really helps you out. I love being able to see what's going on here with DeMar DeRozan. And guys, if you're not using props.cash yet, promo code Curry will get you a 25% off your first month. Down in the description, I've left a link for you to go ahead and get signed up for props.cash if you're not using them yet. So yeah, I'm liking DeRozan over 22.5 points. He's been playing very well. He's averaging a very healthy 25.4 points per game for the season. We already know what kind of player DeMar DeRozan is. He is a bucket getter. So if you wanted to put DeMar DeRozan in your lineup, in your entry at more than 22.5 points, then yeah, you should go ahead and do that. That's probably a good look. Thank you, Broderick, for bringing that one to our attention. Jacob's asking, are you going to use Devin Booker for less or no? No, not at this point, because he's no longer at 32.5. He's been bumped down to 31.5. I don't want to take the under at 31.5. The move, if you got in quick enough, was to take the under at 32.5. But I guess you could if you wanted to. But I think I'm going to leave this one alone now that it's been bumped down from 32.5 to 31.5. All right? We're making waves here on the show. We're making waves on the podcast. We're changing lines in real time here on PrizePicks. What else do we got here? Let's go back to the optimizer. Let's see if we can find anything else that's looking good. Guys, you better get real friendly with refreshing. If you're using this optimizer provided by Daily Grind Fantasy, get real comfortable with the refresh button. It's going to be your best friend. You're going to want to refresh early, often, and as much as possible. All right, here's one. Fred VanVleet, points, rebounds, and assists at 32.5 right now, my friends. They are suggesting we go over 32.5 PRA for Fred VanVleet. 54.3% chance that this particular pick hits. I like 54% or better chance for a prop to hit. Let's get a projection on them. Let's see if our favorite projection model here also recommends that we go over 32.5 PRA on Fred VanVleet. We need a dance partner for DeMar DeRozan's points, right? Maybe Fred VanVleet's that guy. We've got him projected for 32.8. That's a pretty tight projection versus a line of 32.5. But it's slightly more, right? It's closer to 33 PRA than it is 32.5 PRA. So in this case, it is being suggested that we take the over at 32.5. He's projected to go slightly over 32.5 according to our projection models. 54.3% chance to hit. I think I'll take a shot, man. I think I'll take a shot. Now, if you guys want to tail this pick, by all means do so. Bet responsibly. You're going to see I'm not going to go super crazy on this. I've got $679 in my account. I'm normally about a $25 for a 2-pick type of guy. For this one, I'll go $29 just to get that funny little 679 number off of there. I'm just going to put $29 on it. So if I get these 2 picks right, my $29 will triple itself, bringing back $87 to my PrizePicks account. So we're going more on Fred VanVleet at 32.5 PRA versus the Indiana Pacers. We're going for more on DeMar DeRozan at 22.5 points versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Again, mathematically speaking, these are both plus EV plays. They're both projecting well, and they've both been hitting at a pretty decent clip lately. Nothing's guaranteed. I don't have a crystal ball. If I did, I wouldn't be here on YouTube. I'd be out on my private yacht somewhere enjoying a pina colada on my island, okay? But we're still gambling. All right. I don't have a crystal ball, but this looks like a very mathematically sound, projected well type of play. So I'm going to go with these two for 87 bucks. All right. $29 in, $87 out if they both come through clutch for us. All right. Let's go back to the optimizer. Again, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to use Super Chat to get your question highlighted, to get featured on today's podcast, to help support what we do on the show daily here, helping bring you the best picks, the best advantages on PrizePicks. That's what we're all about. And definitely tell a friend, tell a family member, tell someone you love and care about who's playing on PrizePicks about the show. Because if they're not watching, they're not making all the money that they could be making. It's just facts, though. It do be facts, though. All right, what about this one? This is a plus EV play. It's Yusuf Nurkic of the Portland Trail Blazers over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. All right, this one has an implied odds of hitting at 54.3%. Okay, 54.3% chance to hit on Big Nurk here. We already know that Jeremy Grant's out. We already know that Anthony Simons is out. That's going to leave the Portland Trail Blazers potentially very thin. Nasir Little, also listed as a game time decision. He may not take the floor tonight, so Yusuf Nurkic could step into a much larger role. We know the Utah Jazz, they aren't guarding centers very well. To illustrate this point even further, let's go to the season DVP here. DVP, defense versus position. I like to just go to the fantasy score because it kind of shows you just a good overall view of how well or how poorly that a team is defending a certain position. But anyway, you can see that Utah is giving up 23.2 points per game to centers, over 15 rebounds per game to centers, and over 4 assists per game to centers. You kind of add that all up, that's over like 43 points, rebounds, and assists per game, right? They're giving up over 43 per game for the season. What about the last 7 games? Last 7 games, defending a little bit better, but they're still giving up, quite a bit here. 14, 12, 3. So the numbers have come down just a little bit. 40.7 or 40.8 fantasy score per game, but overall they're just not defending the center position very well. So I could get on board with some Yusuf Nurkic. Now let's go get a projection on Nurkic. I got him projected for 27 points, rebounds, and assists. 27 points, rebounds, and assists on a line of, let's see here, 25.5. So he's at 25.5, projected for 27. And so the optimizer, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, gives this a 54.3% chance to hit. So, yeah, great matchup for Nurkic. We know the Portland Trail Blazers are going to be shorthanded. They're going to need somebody like Nurkic to help Damian Lillard out. Lillard can't do it all on his own, but Nurkic should be at a pretty good spot here. So I like this one. Projected for 27. He's at 25.5 on your favorite book. 54.3% chance. So this is another one that you should be considering. All right. Nurkic over 25.5. For those of you who are just getting here, we've already locked in DeMar DeRozan over 22.5 points with Fred VanVleet over 32.5 PRA. Don't be surprised if these end up getting bumped sooner than later. All right. So if you like them, you got to get in where you fit in. ASAP. PrizePicks try to play me. I'm going to blow them off the map. ASAP. Shout out to T.I. We got a super chat coming through again. My man, Broderick, BC. Broderick, he's liking some Ice Trae Young over on points. He loves playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Boom. Okay, this could be one of those other plus EV plays. Maybe we put him alongside of Yusuf Nurkic here. Let's go look at Trae Young. Now, we are waiting on DeJounte Murray news. And if you want to pump the brakes before you put Trae Young in your entries tonight, I can't be mad at you. I can't blame you. DeJounte Murray being out would absolutely be a nice bump up for Trae Young. We saw Trae Young's assist line last night. I think it was last night. 11.5. He ended up covering that. He's at 10.5 dimes tonight. You can kind of see where his points are at. 27.5 points. His PRA is sitting at 42.5. So if you want to wait on the DeJounte Murray news, cannot be mad at you for wanting to do that. But in this case, my man Broderick's wanting to take the over on Trae Young at 27.5 points. He thinks he's going to go for more than 27.5, meaning 28 or more. So let's use the optimizer to go back and take a peek at Trae Young here. Is this a plus EV play? Is this just Mr. Broderick just having that gut instinct that Trae Young's going to be playing well? Maybe he's done a little bit of other research, homework on Trae Young. Well, I can tell you this. The DGF odds, minus 133 to go over Trae Young, 27.5 points. That's looking good. 53.6% odds to hit. So that's almost a 54% chance for him to go over 27.5 points. So far, so good. It's definitely checking the box as far as being a plus EV play, a mathematically sound play that shifts the odds into our advantage from PrizePicks advantage. So let's go get you a projection on Trae Young at this moment with DeJounte Murray's status still being up in the air. Things could potentially change with this projection, with this line for Trae Young. But as of right now, I got him projected for 25.3 points. That is less. That is less than 27.5 and 28.5. All right, so for me, I think I am going to play it low and slow here. I'm going to wait for the DeJounte Murray news to come out. I don't know if he's in or out just yet. If you guys know any information, any inside tips on DeJounte Murray's status tonight, let me know in the live chat. But right now, I think I'm going to wait and see on DeJounte Murray and take it slow here with Trae Young. I'm not ready to put him in there yet until I get more information on the Hawks. Let's see here. Josh is saying that that's literally all the Jazz can do is protect the rim. You think Kelly Olynyk's going to slow down Jusuf Nurkic? You think Walker Kessler maybe is going to give Nurkic some problems? Not a great matchup, so says Josh Gillum. All right, you've been warned. Josh is not a fan of Jusuf Nurkic matching up with the Utah Jazz. He thinks rookie Walker Kessler could be the thing that slows Nurkic down, that keeps him from going over his PRA line. Maybe Josh knows more than the sports books. Maybe he's got a sharper line than the sports books. Hey, Josh, you sound like you're in tune, in tap with the Utah Jazz and what they like to do defensively. But needless to say that it is a plus EV play. All right. Let's see here. What else we got? We got Jarrell Ellis, who's mentioning that Curry over assists could be a good play. He's gone over or tied with at least 5 assists against the Mavericks in the last 5 games that he's played against them. Well, no need to speculate, no need to guess on if it's a good play or not. I got a projection of 5.5 dimes for Curry. Now, right now, he's a pretty big betting favorite to go under 5.5 assists, but PrizePicks has him up at 5 dimes. So let's go look at that real quick. Curry, Golden State Warriors taking on the Dallas Mavericks tonight. He's sitting at 5 dimes, as Jarrell mentioned. Jarrell saying take the over on Curry, but what do the numbers say? Is math on your side here, Jarrell? Let's take a look. Using the optimizer here, we go down and we find that Steph Curry's listed at 5 dimes on PrizePicks, like we just confirmed. Based on this number of 5 assists, based on what's happening on these sports books out there, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer gives this a minus 121 odds for him to get at least 5 or more assists, 51.4% chance to hit. So while it is a plus EV play, it's not the strongest of plays. There's a very real chance that maybe Curry ends up with 5 or more dimes. We're going to go back to props.cash real quick because, again, the visual component is a great thing to have at your fingertips, and props.cash makes it easy for you to see what these players have been doing or haven't been doing when it comes to their different player props. For those of you who are listening, maybe you're listening audio only here, I'll do my best to try and paint a visual picture of what I'm looking at here on screen here on YouTube. Bumping Steph Curry down to 5 dimes leads us to a 33 out of 47% hit rate, meaning 70% of the time Steph Curry has taken the floor this season, he's had at least 5 assists or more. Now, he's covered this in 5 straight games. What I mean by cover, he's hit 5 or more dimes in 5 straight games. So 70%, 7 out of 10 games that Curry goes and plays in the NBA, he's going to record at least 5 dimes. So you're probably good for 5. Will he get 6? Well, when we bump him up to 5.5 assists, we see that hit rate drops from 70% down to 53%. All right. So he's really good at getting 5 assists. Not quite as good at getting at least 6 dimes or better. But my friend Jarrell here said that against Dallas, Curry's a different little animal here. So let's take a look at that real quick. We've got a total of 11 games back from last season combined with this season. Steph Curry versus the Dallas Mavericks. And we see that Curry in those 11 games has had at least 5 assists in 10 out of 11 of those games. That is a 91% hit rate, my friend. So I would say that it's pretty safe. A pretty safe assumption that Curry's good for at least 5 dimes. Now, against the Dallas Mavericks in those 11 games, he's found 6 or more dimes in 64% of those games. 7 for 11 dating back to last season. He is 1 for 2 this season at 6 or better, okay? Because we don't really want to tie. We don't really want to push, right? We're not playing for ties. We're not playing for pushes. We're playing for wins. We want the dub. We don't want to tie and give back some of our money to PrizePicks. No. That's not what we're about. But I will say this, at 5 assists, it looks pretty good for him to get at least 5 dimes here. So, Jarrell, I would have to agree with you. If I were a betting man, which I am, gun to head, if you were to make me choose over or under on Steph Curry's 5 assists, well, my friend, I would have to take the over. I agree with you. I would have to take the over. But don't be surprised if Steph Curry lands on exactly 5 dimes. Don't be surprised. Because he's done that a lot. 70% of the games that he's played in, he's had at least 5 assists. It's the 6 assists that we're looking for. Hopefully he finds it and gets it done against tonight's opponent, the Dallas Mavericks. Thank you so much for everybody watching. Guys, run those likes up. We're going for more than 99.5 likes. I can't do it alone. I need your help. And that's where you can come in. Hitting that like button goes a long way to getting us back in the good graces of the YouTube algorithms. I know. My voice is soothing and it's probably putting you to sleep, but hey, it's time for you to snap out of it and hit that like button if you haven't yet. All right. Delvin, shout out to you. Thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate you stopping by, showing your love, showing your support. Britton's mentioning a pick here. Britton's saying, what about Michael Porter Jr. over 21.5 points plus rebounds? What about Michael Porter Jr. over 21.5 points plus rebounds? Well, what about it, man? What about it? Let's refresh the optimizer. As I mentioned, if you're using the DGF optimizer, you're going to want to hit that refresh button early and often, as many times as you can, okay? Keep the latest odds up to date by hitting that refresh button. So let's go find Michael Porter Jr. I'm not going to get to everyone's question. I can't get to everyone's question. I'm just simply one man with 2 hands, 1 head, in so little time. But in this case, we've got a question here. Michael Porter Jr. at 21.5 points plus rebounds. Okay, this is a minus 119 odds to go over, and it's a 50.8% chance to hit. Again, slightly plus EV, but more of a coin flip. Mathematically speaking, this is more of a coin flip than it is anything else at just a 50.8% chance to hit. But you're liking it for a reason. You brought it up because something's looking good. So let's take a look here. Michael Porter Jr. points and rebounds. Let's see if that's looking good or not. We got Michael Porter Jr. We got Kevin Porter Jr. tonight. Michael Porter Jr. is projected for 23 points plus rebounds. You're starting to see a little bit of juice on the over at Michael Porter Jr.'s 21.5 points plus rebound line on your favorite sports book. So he is projected over. It is a slight plus EV play for you. So you have a slight plus EV advantage here. And then you got a good projection at 23 on MPJ. So if you wanted to take this one, hey, wouldn't be the worst bet in the world. If you're liking it, I would say definitely jump on it. I don't know that it's going to go up to 22 at any given point, but it is projecting well, so you could do worse with your money, I would say. Mitchell coming through with a little chat for us. He's saying, my favorite play today is Joel Embiid over 1.5 block shots. Mitchell, what about Embiid? Let's take a look at Joel Embiid's blocked shots real quick. I'm just going to pull a projection up on this one. I got him projected for 1.8 block shots, all right? We're seeing a little bit of juice, a little bit of traction on a couple of these sports books, but let's get a real clean number here. Is this a plus EV play? That is the question that we'll keep asking ourselves, because if it's not a plus EV play, I don't want to play it, quite frankly. In this case, it is slightly plus EV. It's a 51.4%, almost a 51.5% chance that Joel Embiid records at least 2 block shots tonight. This is a minus 123 betting favorite according to the DGF odds, okay? So, yes, technically projected to go over, and it is a plus EV play. And he's going up against the Chicago Bulls. For a visual reference here, we could go ahead and pull up the blocks. We could go down to the Philadelphia-Chicago game, click on Joel Embiid's name, and you can kind of take a look here over the last 2 seasons, 6 games in total. Joel Embiid has recorded at least 2 blocks in 4 of 6 games against the Bulls. This season, he's 1 for 2. He did pick up 3 blocks in their most recent matchup, which was on March 20th. Just a couple days ago, blocked 3 shots. So you're saying you like this play? I think it could work out for you. I mean, Joel Embiid's been blocking more shots than he ever has, right? We look at the last 10 games here. He's recorded at least 2 blocks in 7 straight games. So he's 7 for 10, 70%, averaging 2.4 rejections in that 10-game span. So shout out to Joel Embiid, blocking plenty of shots recently. All right, so there you go, buddy. Hopefully, Mitchell, you feel a little bit better about taking that Joel Embiid play. Now, Everyday Fantasy's coming through with a super chat. He's got one here on the line. It's Kevin Love at 7.5 points. And if I know Everyday Fantasy like I think I know him, Kevin Love over 7.5 points is probably a plus EV play. But just to make sure, right, just to show you guys that we're not just blowing smoke, we're going to go ahead and type in Mr. Kevin Love's name into the optimizer. And then we're going to go down to the points. Now his points at 7.5, 51.2% chance that this hits. That's your percentage. Odds to hit, all right? More than 50%. Better than a coin flip. We love that. We love anything that's better than a coin flip. Do I wish this was 53, 54, 55% chance to hit? Yeah, I do. Admittedly, I do. But in this case, 51.2% chance is higher than 50. So we can go ahead and we can move on and get you a projection on this guy, right? I got Kevin Love projected for 8.1 points. That is more than 7.5. We need him for 8 or more. He's playing against the New York Knicks tonight. So Kevin Love versus the Knicks. You can kind of see what's going on with K Love here. He's at 8.5 on a lot of books, 7.5 on a couple of books. At 8.5, a lot of folks are betting the under from what it looks like at 8.5. So betting the over at 7.5, under at 8.5, between 7.5 and 8.5 is 8 points. It looks like it's setting up quite nicely for Kevin Love to score 8 or better tonight against the New York Knicks. So there you go. That is another option for you to consider. We've got a couple of them here that are brewing. We've got Yusuf Nurkic over 25.5 PRA. We've got Steph Curry, more than 5 assists. Our guy Everyday Fantasy came through with Kevin Love over 7.5 points. It's another option for you to consider. He's covered this in 3 out of his last 5 games, averaging 8.6 points. That's 1.1 points higher than his line today at 7.5. So you got those 3. All right. And then again, if you're just joining us, we already locked in DeMar DeRozan over 22.5 points, along with Fred VanVleet over 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now this play down here, this was one that I made really late last night or early this morning, however you want to look at it, just after midnight. I just, just off the cuff, no research really. I took Şengün over first half PRA at 13.5. Jaren Jackson Jr. over 13.5 PRA. Kevon Looney, 9.5 PRA over. Jokic over 11.5 points. Anunoby over 11.5 first half PRA. And Xavier Tillman over 9.5 points, rebounds, and assists against the Houston Rockets. Again, don't feel led to tail this play if you don't want to, but definitely worth looking into some of these guys. Şengün, Jackson, Looney, Jokic, Anunoby, and Xavier Tillman. So, which props have been bumped? All of them? All of these first half props have been bumped? Or are you talking about these two, the DeMar DeRozan, Fred VanVleet? Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Jarrell says, thank you for the help. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Wave Visions, am I back? What does it look like, man? I'm back. and I'm here live and in living color in the flesh. The bottom slip, these have been bumped. Okay. Well, hey, some of them have been bumped. The early bird gets the worm. You know how PrizePicks rolls. You got to get in there like swimwear, all right? Basically, all right? So hopefully that play, by the way, that 6-pick that I threw in there, first half only, that was sent out to my Patreon gang. So hopefully it ends up cashing out, and it comes through for us. Jerusalem coming through says, how about Giannis under 0.53s? Giannis under 0.53s. I think the last time that Giannis took the floor, he ended up knocking down at least one three-pointer. And I think he did it pretty quick, like pretty snappy, right? Right now, Giannis at 0.5 3-point makes. This one has a 52.6% chance to hit. 52.6% chance that Giannis goes over 0.5 3-point makes. He's got to make one. Now, Giannis, not the greatest outside shooter in the world or anything like that, but what do you guys think? Can we count on Giannis to knock down at least 1 3 tonight? As far as a projection on Giannis, we got him at 0.9. That's very close to being 1 3-point make. At 0.5 across these various sports betting sites, these various sports books, pretty good odds, minus 130, 136. And like I said, the optimizer does seem to favor this play. 52.6% chance that Giannis knocks down at least 1 3 tonight. So it's projecting well. It is a plus EV play. But you know how it goes with Giannis, right? And these 3-point makes, it's going to be very binary. He's not going to make 2, 3, or 4. Typically not. He's either going to make one or none. One or none. So it's kind of like taking a home run prop or like a rushing touchdown prop for the NFL. It's either going to hit or it's not. He's not going to go for 2, 3, or 4 3-point makes unless he's just really feeling himself and gets in his 3-point bag. But a couple of you guys are mentioning Zach LaVine's assist at 4 today. We'll make that one the last play of the day as we look to kind of wind down the show. Zach LaVine, very popular play. This one was being chatted about and mentioned as late as or as early as last night in our Discord. So shout out to our Discord members. They were all over this Zach LaVine assist prop. So let's look at this one together and see why it's so darn popular. Zach LaVine's line on PrizePicks is set at an even 4 assists. So that means that it's either been bumped up from 3.5 to 4 or bumped down from 4.5 down to 4. Okay, that's usually what that means. When you see a prop that it's an even number like 4.0 instead of 4.5 or 3.5, that's the hook. That 0.5 is called the hook. It's either been rounded up or rounded down. So let's see what's happened here. Well, I can tell you this: at 4 assists, the DG optimizer has this as a true coin flip, exactly 50% chance for this to hit. All right. Now, I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't like coin flips. I'm not here to flip a coin and gosh, it might land on heads, but then again, it might land on tails. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. So far, my first initial reaction is 50% chance to hit. Not my cup of tea. But let's take a look here a little bit closer. He's projected for 4.2 assists tonight. At 3.5 assists, big betting favorite at 3.5 on all these sports books. I mean, we're seeing minus 150, minus 158 odds for him to go over 3.5 dimes. So it seems like a pretty sure bet that he's going to land on at least 4. Now, will he get 5 or more? That's a different question. I think he's pretty darn good, kind of like Steph Curry at 5 assists. LaVine's pretty good at getting at least 4 assists. But the question is, can he get over the hump and get you that 5th assist? Because we're not playing to tie, guys. We don't want to tie, right? That's no fun. That's no fun. Here's what I'll tell you. At 3.5 assists, we have him set up at 3.5 here on props.cash. So 4 assists or more, 42 for 67 this season. That's a 63% hit rate. So he's very good at getting at least 4. What happens when we bump this up to 4.5? When we need LaVine to get 5 or more assists, which is what we want. We, again, don't want to tie here, right? 5 or more assists, 45% hit rate this season, 30 for 67. So pretty steep fall off when we need at least 5 dimes from him. But what I will say about Zach LaVine is that over the last 5 games here, he's hit 5 dimes or more in 5 straight games. He's hit 4 dimes or more in 8 straight games. So he's been pretty good at getting at least 4 for the season over the last 8 games, 4 or better in 8 straight. So maybe roll the dice on the over at 4, kind of like Curry at 5, right? You could take a shot here with Zach LaVine at 4 assists. Technically, mathematically speaking, this is a coin flip, but you could do worse, right? So we got LaVine over 4 assists. Looks like a pretty good play. Kevin Love over 7.5 points. Steph Curry over 5 assists. Yusuf Nurkic, 25.5 PRA. Those are all looking like very solid options. Heck, we could even go back and include our guy, Fred VanVleet, whose PRA is still at 32.5. We could even go back and include our guy, DeMar DeRozan, who's at 22.5 points still. And now we've got ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks. I'm going to throw $10 on this to win $250, guys. Plays we've all talked about, plays that all look mathematically sound, that are projecting well. Nurkic, Curry, Love, LaVine, VanVleet, and DeMar DeRozan. So that was DeRozan over 22.5 points, VanVleet over 32.5 PRA, LaVine over 4 assists, Kevin Love over 7.5 points, Steph Curry over 5 assists, and Yusuf Nurkic over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. You put in 10, you get $250 back. I'm not mad at that. And then, of course, we had that 2-pick power play that we cooked up earlier. Fred VanVleet, DeMar DeRozan, both over, and VanVleet was 32.5 PRA. DeRozan was 22.5 points. So that's it, baby. That's going to be it, man. We're a little over our 1 o'clock stop time. I don't think there's any outstanding super chats here. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We got Woody Houdini NYC. Thank you for subscribing. E-Rich Entertainment. Thank you for subscribing as well. Guys, I appreciate all your support. We're going to be doing this every single day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. One more time, I just want to make sure that Divine Truth Allah, our 2-pick, $100 2-pick power play winner, Make sure that Divine Truth Allah knows that he has won. Please send me a DM with your PrizePicks email address. I'll get you that risk-free 2-pick power play added to your PrizePicks account. And if you want a risk-free 2-pick power play for $100 on your PrizePicks account, simply be a subscriber, slap the like button on your way out, and then once the replay of today's podcast goes up on YouTube, guys, go to the comment section, leave a comment, and then if you want to keep up with everything that I've got going on, check out the description of today's videos, links to all the tools that you've seen today, DGF Optimizer, the PrizePicks promo code. We got the props.cash tools, 25% off your first month. My Twitter's down there. Give me a follow on Twitter. Join the Patreon. Join the Discord. Everything I got going on down in the description of today's video, my friends. Good luck today. Happy hour to you all. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Thanks for being here. Peace.